Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Dr. Bad Vibes, where I speak, and today I'm going to speak about news. Silly news. And some of the silliest news I've seen lately is somebody. I thought this was Disney World originally, and I got excited because I'm like, "Oh, this is nearby. Maybe we'll be there." But no, this is Disneyland in California. But the Small World attraction. some crazy guy decided to do some drugs and take his clothes off and just hang out on It's a Small World. Out of all rides, I don't know why. I mean, I guess if you had, I don't know, insecurities about yourself being too small, It's a Small World's a good ride to, you know, hang out on. It makes you look quite large in many aspects. So yeah, this guy was arrested. This was right before Thanksgiving. I remember we saw this. I think it was on Twitter when it first got our attention. So let's go through the article here. This is from from the LA Times. So a 26-year-old man was arrested Sunday after he removed his clothes at Disneyland Park, according to Anaheim Police Department spokesman Jonathan McClintock. Yeah, I'm not going to read. Let's not read it verbatim. Let's see. Officers responded to the theme park just after 1:30. So he removed. He was naked or near. It's a small world. So from what I understand, let me see here. I've got some pictures and footage. Yeah, the inferior Disney. Yeah, Disney World's the better one. I've heard that Tokyo Disney is actually the best one, but I haven't been to compare. So yeah, basically, this guy did some substances and hopped on a small world. I don't know what drug you could do that would make you take your clothes off and wander around. I mean, I guess bath salts make you go too crazy. There's something else, Flocka, I think. I don't know if that's still a thing. I'm sure he did something. I mean, it sounds like he. Well, yeah, it says he was arrested on suspicion suspicion of indecent exposure. There's no suspicion there. The photos are very, very uncensored and gross, so I'm going to try not to click those. and and being under the influence of a controlled substance. So I mean, obviously he was on something. He just kind of wandered off the ride, took off all his clothes, and he was wandering around. Yeah, here's a photo here. Let me zoom in. So he was wandering around. This is from Instagram, Magic with Megra. Yeah, he just had his boxers on at first, and it was just kind of wandering around the ride, which is pretty nuts on its own. But that ride is so old. I mean, I would assume most of it's original. You can't be like climbing all over that thing. Hopefully, it didn't break anything. These kids watching this. Let's see. There were plenty of people. I mean, it's 2023. Everybody had their phones out, so he got a lot of exposure. And yeah, so the big thing I saw was that he lost the boxers at some point, and he was just totally nude, wandering around. And I saw the video clip of this. I'm not going to play that because it's not censored. Well, hang on. Yeah. Let me zoom in just a little. So yeah, this was on Twitter. Totally out there. Just kind of splashing about. But yeah, there's a full-on video of that somewhere, and can't play that on any of these streams because it's full frontal. He's hanging dong at Small World. Small dong at Small World. And yeah, it really was a small world, it appeared. But if you're small in a small world, I guess by proportionately you're average. So it was an average world after all, after it was all said and done. But it is wild, like Disney, like the stuff you keep hearing. It's like just all this crazy stuff keeps happening. Like people, I'm just trying to think over the past, like I don't know, 5 years or so. People, there was somebody arrested for, hopefully unknowingly, but they had a handgun in their backpack, and they're just like, no, you can't do that. And that was the whole thing. But there's been so many like fist fights at Disney. Like there was a big one, I don't know, within the past 6 months or so in Florida. It's like two full on families just like squaring off and just beating the crap out of each other. To get on the freaking the Mickey's Philharmonic Orchestra. There's no weight on that. There's no reason to fight. Like it's like the easiest ride to get on, and they were like just beating the crap out of each other. And they even had their matching like goofy ass family shirts, like it's like the Smiths Vacation and the Jones Vacation. So it's like Family Feud with higher stakes and more mouse ears. So, oh yeah, so the article actually references, not that specifically, but I guess they've added a new section to the, well, both the parks. They added a quote-unquote courtesy section to their website. So the quote says, "We ask all who come to this happy place to treat others with respect, kindness, and compassion. To help guests have a safe and enjoyable experience, we regularly update our Disneyland resort rules. Those who cannot live up to this simple wish or follow our rules may be asked to leave the Disney resort." Which I mean, it's not too much to ask. It's like going out in public in most places now. I've talked about it on other, like some of Jen's streams, I think. Like I've gone to gas stations that have had to put up these big signs basically saying, don't be a dick. Like quit yelling at the cashiers. Like everybody's understaffed. Don't just stop. And I don't know why it's so much at Disney though. Yeah, like this quote. "While the new section was believed to be a response to increased fighting among guests, existing rules also prohibit smoking marijuana or using other illegal substances." I mean, that's fair. Like, who wants to go to Disney torn up? But taking off your clothes and disrupting the operation of a ride are also clear violations. Yeah. Proper attire, including shoes and shirts, must be worn at all times. He he threw that rule straight into the wind. Oh, I heard about this one too. This is the same article. I can't remember what we were listening to. This never crossed my mind, but so I guess a book came out. This is from the article. 2 former Disneyland custodial workers claim that park guests sometimes poop and urinate while waiting in lines for rides, not just children. And there was a discussion and comments on that, and it sounds like that's a pretty common thing. Like, people will wait like 3 hours for a ride, and like rather than get out of line, they just find a corner and just drop a dump, in the corner of Star Wars or Avatar or whatever. That's fine. Oh, so they've got the book here. I'd like to read this. "Cleaning the Kingdom: Insider Tales of Keeping Walt's Dreams Spotless." And the practice is done Human Code H. So yeah, people poop and pee in the lines. I remember hearing the craziest thing I've heard is, I don't know how common it is, but it's common enough that they talk about it. The people will bring the ashes of relatives to Disney parks. And I think the Haunted Mansion is like one of the worst for that. People will go on the ride to spread their ashes, I guess, so they can hang out with the ghosts in the theme park. Or maybe the Pirates ride, throw them in the ocean. The chemical treated fake ocean. Anyways, back to the Small World Streaker. This one, again, thankfully is censored. Make it a little bigger here. looking like a full-on maniac. I mean, could you imagine just being a kid on this ride? It's like, oh boy, I'm going to go to Small World. And then you see this freaking monster in the bushes with his dong flopping around. There we go. Okay, so yeah, this is the footage from the the arrest and the removal from the park. So again, this guy must have been blitzed out of his mind. So check out how they're carrying him away here. It's like a prized fish here. We got, what, 4 or 5 guys holding them up with a magical blanket. And oh yeah, in relation to that, somebody shared one of those things where, again, the Simpsons predicted the future.
We found this one swimming naked in the fermentarium.